Hello, mate. How are you? Good evening.
Yeah, not too bad. Are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. Yeah, good to see you.
Good? Yeah, good, good, good. You'll have to excuse my headset. I put the headset on so I can hear a little bit better.
Oh, no, no problem. So, yeah, looking back to when you started, Philip. So, linking back to, how does someone from Chilwell School, end up being, to someone reaching the heights that you've done with music? Where did it all start? Where was the passion with music?
Um, oh, that's a big question. I've always done music. Um, it wasn't, to be fair, the weird thing is, it wasn't always what I wanted to do. I actually, like before, I kind of wanted to go into like engineering. So music was actually not my first choice, but I think like I was just kind of a bit more um, in tune with music. It almost came natural to me, and yeah, I mean I did music at school and college, and then university, and then it kind of just went from there really. And then I was working hard, working on music when everybody was going out partying. When I was like 16, 17, 18, I was like in the studio making music. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how it is. And then I got a lucky break. I was uploading music to SoundCloud, and a couple of the tracks actually started blowing up. But "Wish You Were Mine," which is the big track that everybody knows, obviously really took off. So yeah.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And that kind of links into the next question, really. So, throwing yourself back
Mm.
to December 2014, I think it's on a motorway, and obviously I listened to the song back and obviously checked out who it was. I was like, no way, this can't be true. And then, looking back to them when it really kind of kicked off from that perspective,
Yeah.
what would you say to the Philip George, looking back then 7 years ago?
Oh, be prepared for the like biggest roller coaster of your life. it was it's been a whirlwind like the last 7 years, but it's the music industry is it's intense. I don't think anybody realizes how intense it is. It's super super intense, and especially coming from someone, because I still live in Nottingham, and coming from someone who's never really been into kind of like, I don't know, like social media and all that, and the being popular, and that was like, yeah, it was scary. Those first 5 years were pretty scary. So yeah, if I was saying something to a younger self, I'd be like, be prepared for a big whirlwind and roller coaster.
Yeah, no class, no, and reflecting back on those experiences, what would you say were the key kind of challenges that you've had to overcome in the last sort of decade, really? Any kind of key moments that you reflect back on and kind of think that
um,
you've had to overcome?
I think I had to grow up quite quickly. Obviously, when everything started like taking off, I had my life just completely changed, and yeah, like yeah, I had to change quite quickly. So my life completely turned upside down, and yeah, I mean, when something like that does happen, I think you've just got to be like you've just got to be really in tune with everything that's going on around you, and even business wise, I mean, your business ability has to like go through the roof, especially when you're so young, when you're about a 20-year-old kid, really, and you could easily blow it all away. So to kind of like manage that all, and manage it, and I've been pretty good, to be fair, and yeah, over the last 10 years, I've managed myself pretty well. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's something that resonates with you when I speak to a lot of people that kind of mutual connections. They say that
Yeah.
you're very grounded, and it's very apparent. So how do you keep yourself grounded when you do reach that success?
Um, I'm not really sure. I think it's difficult, really. I think social media you can get lost in social media. I think that's a big one that it's fairly obvious as well. Social media changes a person, doesn't it? And A lot of people have a lot of problems like anxiety and depression and stuff from social media, stemming from social media. So for me, it can also make your head blow up as well. Like you can also, if you start getting popular on social media, all of a sudden you think you're the bee's knees. And I think I've always kind of just stepped off that a little bit. I've always been a little bit more kind of reserved when it comes to all that. I've always tried to keep myself, like my feet on the ground, never kind of like lose sight of who your friends are, your people around you who's supporting you, and all that. And yeah, I think that's it really. I think to keep yourself level-headed, you just got to make sure you keep the people around you who keep you level-headed close. I think that's the biggest factor. But yeah.
No, brilliant. And you mentioned a lot of stuff around mental health and anxiety there. So, linking into lockdown, how do you think, and what kind of effect do you think your music has had on people's mental health during lockdown?
Well, I hope it's had a positive effect. I always try and make uplifting and positive music, especially with the last record. I'm always constantly trying to, put some light into people's lives and positivity, because I know how tough it is, especially over lockdown. I know how tough it's been, and I think music has been so important for everybody, especially me. I couldn't go without music anyway, but especially over lockdown, like it's been so important to listen to some colours, not just going outside and seeing colourful daylight, but also listening to colourful things to keep your mind intact and not losing yourself. I really hope that the music that I've made, people are listening to every day, and it's putting some joy in their lives. I really do. And all I ever hear is great feedback from it, and that makes me feel better. So yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional, but I think Voodoo, which was released back in January, I think that was released at quite a poignant moment in the yearly calendar. So it was just after Blue Monday, around the 20th, 21st of January. So I think it was released at quite a significant time. And reflect back to myself, it was really such a well-timed track as well. So really well played on that one.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Linking into football then, am I right in saying you're an avid Forest fan?
I'm a big Forest fan. Yeah, 100%, mate.
So we'll kind of skip that bit. But in terms of your relationship,
so are you county then? Is it Notts County or?
I'm Forest, yeah, but not.
You Forest, that's all right then.
Yeah. But in terms of your relationship with football, what's kind of been your relationship with football growing up, and has it influenced your music to some extent, and vice versa?
Do you want to know what? The weird thing is, I've only actually just started really fully getting into it over the last probably 5 years or so. So growing up, my dad used to take me to Forest games, but I was never a season ticket holder, and I never really kind of fully 100% followed it. But as I've got older, it's kind of like, do you know what? That's one thing that I actually love. That's another thing that keeps my feet on the ground. Just supporting your local team. I think I don't know what it is, but it's you could argue that it has been an influence on who I am as a person, and maybe my music. You could do, but yeah, I'm a massive football fan. I think even over lockdown, I think football has been a huge thing. That we like having football on TV, etc. But yeah, I think it has influenced me a lot, especially who I am as a person. So yeah.
Yeah, no, brilliant. And linking into football, if you was going to pick one stadium that you'd want to headline, and that was the only football stadium you could headline, and you'd never allowed back in a football stadium again, what would it be and why?
You never allowed any football stadium.
So if you're going to play live at an event, and you're going to do a set, where would you play if that was going to be the only stadium you're allowed to play at ever again?
Right. Okay. I'd probably say. Do you know what? I mean, I'm going to go with the right choice, and the right choice is to say that I'd love to play at City Ground, because City Ground would be amazing. Having a full City Ground like that would be incredible, right? Second choice, even though you've not said that, I'm going to answer the second choice anyway, would be Wembley, because that's a neutral. So. So yeah, that would be. Yeah, I've actually played at the Wembley arena, so it's not actually the stadium; it's the arena next door. So I've actually played there before, which was pretty cool. But yeah, yeah.
And this is a bit kind of diversing off the set questions, but what kind of venue sticks out for you where you reflect back on and think, yeah, that just felt right? The crowd, the setup, the event, the night, the occasion.
Yeah, I think anybody would say the same as me, and that is playing in Ibiza. I think Amnesia was like a massive thing for me because I think like the year prior I'd just gone to Ibiza as a holiday maker, and obviously seeing these clubs, and you kind of on the dance floor looking up at the DJ booth, and you're like, wow, that's like it's almost like it looks godlike, like it looks like the best thing in the world. Or you almost like, I want to do that. I want to do that. So a year later, I got asked to play at Amnesia, and in fact, not just once. I played like 5 times or 6 times that year at Amnesia, and yeah, that I mean, like just being in that DJ booth and playing to a crowd, and just everything is in tune in that place. Like the lighting and the effects. And people go in there for a party. It's not like it's not like they have to be there, or they're just going there because the mates are going there. People are there to have a proper club night, and they're all there for the music, and it's wicked. So yeah, just being in that DJ booth. I remember the first time I played it because they actually moved the DJ booth to the different side of the room in Amnesia, and that the whole room was packed out. I think it was opening night, one of the opening nights, and yeah, it was just like wall to wall full of a sea of people. And I just remember I must have played like a breakdown of one of the tunes one of the tracks I was playing, and the lights just came on. Do you know when they put all the lights on the breakdown, and you could just see everybody? You could just like a sea of people, and just having that moment, looking out to the crowd, was incredible. You know, when you're thinking back to the year before when you were in that crowd, and then a year later you're looking at that crowd. I mean, that's like, it was something special. So I think that's like that'll always stick in my mind as a highlight for me. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. No, real special moment. So we've got some questions from some of the followers then, just to kind of conclude really from the floor. So we've got Ella Bailey, and Ella Bailey has asked, how have you dealt with setbacks that you've had?
I think when you have a setback, I think you have to have time to reflect, I think, and work out a strategy on how to kind of overcome it. Because I mean, I've had loads of setbacks over the year, and that's just part of the game. And I think it's not just in the music industry. I think that's in anything really. I think you shouldn't let it get you down. I think everything comes with setbacks. There's always going to be setbacks in whatever you do. For me in music, it's just part of the parcel. And yeah, I mean, as I say, I just have time to reflect, work out a strategy on how to overcome it, and yeah, see what I can do, see if I can overcome it. And 99 times out of 100, you can overcome it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, really good advice. Got one from Finn Flanagan. So yeah, quite a clever kid. I like it. I spot this. So what mentality correlates with the music industry and football to make it to the top?
Oh, for me, that's tricky. Practice, perseverance. Because I mean, for me, that is one thing that I'd say to anybody. They always say to me, they always want like a fast track. I was like, okay, they want it now, but it doesn't happen now. You have to practice. You have to put in the time. I can't remember what the statistic was, but someone says you have to put I can't remember what they said, like something silly. It was like over 1,000 hours or something in producing to have even a little bit of success.
Hours. Yeah,
I think it is. I think it was like over 1,000 hours to have any success in anything. So it's like, if you think about how many hours, that's a lot. So yeah, I mean, you do have to put in the time, 100%.
And does that make it, and the emotional reward of, obviously you got a nice sort of setup at home, and obviously starting from doing a first couple of tracks in your bedroom, and then playing in Amnesia and playing Wembley, does that make it even more rewarding, the fact that it started at home and you kind of put it on the big stage?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Knowing that you've invested the time into it, and you know, I think a lot of people do see. It's almost like some people get it gifted. So if you have obviously put in the time and put in the work, and then obviously something happens through it, then yeah, you look back at the time that you put in and you appreciate how much hard work you've put in. So yeah.
What's happening for us then? Where are you going to end up in the next couple of years?
Oh mate, don't. It's horrible, isn't it? You go back and forth with Forest at the moment. To be honest with you, we need to sort out the fullbacks. Personally, I think we need to sort out the fullbacks. I think we need a young striker. We need a young striker as well. If we can get some good fullbacks and a young striker, I think we're onto a winner. Because I've been pretty impressed with some of the players that have come in, especially that Felipe Krinovic, is it?
Yeah, he's done really well so far.
And Garner's been really good. I think that I'm interested to see what will happen, because I know that a lot of these players are on loan, so it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, it's really tricky, mate. They're hard to watch at the moment because there's no goals coming from anywhere. I've pretty much watched every game this season, and yeah, you can't really see any goals. But we just have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully over the summer. Hopefully I think we're going to stay up now. I think it's safe to say we've secured our place in the Championship again. So it's just whether we make the right. It's just whether we make the right moves over the summer and the right substitutions and stuff. So we're just fingers crossed. We'll have to wait and see.
100%. And speaking of the summer, what's kind of in store for you? What you got lined up in terms of releases without giving too much away, and what kind of events?
Sure. It's been a bit of a strange one because obviously we've had lockdown and it's been really odd. But I've actually been really, especially over the last month or two, been working really hard on music. I've managed to get a lot of material done. I've actually got loads of music ready. We're preparing the next track. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I'm going to say that it's probably more, let's call it traditional Philip George. Let's call it a bit more dance orientated, a little bit more kind of, it's straight up house music. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good one, and I think people are going to enjoy it, and hopefully it'll be perfect for the summer of love. So yeah, we'll just wait to see.
What awesome. A fantastic way to end. Philip George, you've been absolutely brilliant. Cheers. You've been.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Time.
No worries at all.
Cheers. Mate. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
See you later. Cheers.
See you later. Bye.
Without a chaser, lightning from your kiss.